Let me come to you immediately, Nuru. How has your experience been like so far?
My experience has, first of all, been exciting, being in Washington, D.C. and working with the Smithsonian. The Smithsonian is the world's largest museum, so it's inspiring to be a part of such a big institute. So right now I'm working with the Office of Sponsored Projects at the Smithsonian, and what this office does is to help different officers in the Smithsonian get funding for their projects. So what I've been learning is basically how do you look for funding, how do you write proposals for funding, how do you look for, what do funders look for? And so I've learned the process, and it's one thing I want to go back and teach fellow Ugandans. But also I've learned how to be a servant leader, because working with everyone at the Smithsonian, everyone is ready to support you. Everyone is willing to share and mentor their information. So I've learned to be able to want to share what I've learned with as many people as possible, especially the young people.
I see. What about you, Chippy?
For me, it's been really overwhelming. Right from the academic institute, which I undertook at Howard University, and later on the presidential summit as well, and just getting to meet young, bright minds from 49 other African countries. I mean, that was really great. These are people that are full of life, full of energy, you know, so positive and so hopeful about the future of Africa, and just getting to meet them, to spend time with them. I think that also helped me to look at life with a more positive angle, and just to be hopeful for Africa as well. So it's been great. And then right now I'm doing my internship right here at Voice of America. Every single moment has been awesome and amazing.
You enjoy it, eh?
I am enjoying it.
Terrific.
I wish I could stay longer.
Really? Maybe that could be arranged. Who knows? Fauzia, what about you? Your experiences?
My experience has been terrific. So far, so good. My host university was Tulane University, where I was on the civic leadership track. And I got the opportunity to do community service with the Preservation Resource Center, I was in the advocacy department. And here today with Bread International, I am also in the advocacy and the institute department. And I think if there is anything that is so amazing that has completely changed my mind so far, it's policy advocacy. How policy advocacy is done here, and how institutions push for policies through the government, through the private sectors, even the public, and how they convince the public that actually this policy would work for you and it will have a positive impact on you. And like back home, how policy advocacy is. So it has brought an overhaul perspective of what actually policy advocacy is.
What about something that you could put your fingers on and say, you know what, this has to be the single most important moment in my life so far during this particular fellowship and internship?
That is definitely 500 minds from 49 sub-Saharan African countries, different ideologies, different backgrounds. And amazingly, we are all doing the same thing in one way or the other, trying to solve the social deficiencies that we have back home, which is, be it health, be it leadership, be it education, and coming together and actually seeing that, you know what, the young African leaders can actually bring the change that we are all yearning for. Yes. So
you know, there's a saying, Fauzia, that wherever there is a positive, there's also likely to be a negative somewhere in the neighborhood. Any particular thing that you have missed so far?
Any particular thing, if I have missed anything, I have missed the lost time that I was not doing anything, and I realized in this fellowship I could do. For example, I never knew that policy advocacy can be done peacefully. It's just the right communication, it's just the right strategies. I never knew that. All I knew is when I want to push for any policy, I have to fight. I have to disrespect the authorities. That's one thing that was in my head.
Really?
So when I came here, I was like, it's dialogue, it's conversation, it's having a healthy conversation. You disagree, I respect you. I disagree, you respect me. So
you negotiate.
You negotiate and you talk. You don't necessarily have to fight.
You don't have to fight. Now, Nuru, you don't have to fight, of course, but surely there must be something that you miss coming from Uganda. You've been here for about 2 months now. There must be something you miss. It could be Matoke, it could be something.
It's definitely part of the things I miss home is Matoke and also missing my family. But it's a worthwhile cause that I'm here. So I'm not focusing so much on what I'm missing home. I'm focusing on how much I can learn here and take it back home, and how many networks I can make here, so that further my work, but also to help other young people who didn't get the opportunity to come here.
What about you, Chippy?
Well, obviously there are small things that you miss. Sometimes as silly things as you miss dusty roads back home.
Come on, how can you talk about that?
You know, but as Nulu rightly said, you know, just being here it takes you away from all that kind of environment, and it's been a very intensive period. It's been a very intensive program. So we really haven't had time to sit down and reflect on what am I missing home, because there's just so much to cover and just so much to get in. It's been overwhelming, a lot of information that we have been getting. And I think a lot of time we have actually spent it on thinking about how am I going to make a difference, how am I going to have to use this information for the benefit of my community and the society that I serve.
What about single most disappointing experience for you so far?
Disappointing?
Yes. I mean, you must have had dreams and expectations about coming to America.
Yeah.
Now you are here. It's not a movie. You're not in Hollywood. You are in the reality of America.
Exactly. Well, I wouldn't really call it disappointing, but the time that I spent with the other 497 fellows was great. And when those people had to leave back home and leave us here to undertake their internship, I think we felt some kind of a disconnect, you know, and saying, well, they're going back home. We wish we had spent a lot more time with them and just to engage more and just to interact more. And, you know, there are some of them that would have obviously loved to stay behind and do the internship as well. And the fact that not everyone could have a chance to actually do that, you know. Well, but overall, I think we've been able to focus on the positive issues
Really?
other than what has not worked.
Fauzia, you were first you were 500, and now you are about 100?
Yes.
What did it take for you to be part of the 100 that are staying here doing internship?
I don't know exactly the criteria that has been used, but like anybody else, we applied, and when you're doing your application, there is a part that says, do you want to do an internship here in America, yes or no? And definitely I wanted to gain more knowledge, and I wanted to see things from an international perspective. So we just applied like any other person, and I was selected to be one of the 100 interns who are here today.
How did it feel when they said, yes, you got it?
I was excited. I was really excited, and at some point I felt privileged, and I was like, you deserve, Fauzia, you deserve, and I kept consoling myself. So it was really nice, because now here I am with Bread for the World, and I think I couldn't have been in any other better institution than Bread.
Terrific.